Well, 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 well.
Well, well, well.
I'm Batman. I'm Batman.
I'm
I'm Batman. Batman. How's it
What's
going?
up, Batman?
What's up? Not Batman. Loser.
Not Batman. I am a loser. I'm a loser, baby. So why don't you kill me? What's happening, my man?
I should have named myself Batman and not Luke. I gave away my
Yeah.
secret identity.
Now everybody knows
Oh no.
you have taken up the mantle.
I've taken up the cape. I'm flying around at nighttime, beating up
That's right.
random criminals in the subway stations. So, what have you been up to lately? Any Batmaning? You done any vigilante work?
If I told you, I'd have to kill you,
True.
else we'd have
True
to-
that.
or else we'd have to make a secret pact and start.
We could team up.
The Justice League of Western New York
Well,
or something like
We
that.
could call it the Justice League. We could call it like Liberty Club.
Maybe the Vagabonds or something like that.
That'd be a cool name for a superhero team.
Yeah.
We should start something about that.
Yeah, we should definitely do something about that. Let's check and see who's here visiting with us today. We have Aaron from Hella Dope Toys, Mr. Black Knight himself.
Hello.
And that's not the right one.
Aaron again.
This is the one. It better be Ed. What's up, Matthew?
Hi. I'm Batman.
So anything going on?
No, I did the Michael Keaton one just for you though.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Because
I thought
outside
you would.
Adam West, he is the best Batman.
Dude. It's hard finding Batman PNGs though. It's kind of a challenge.
You know, Batman's like all over the place, but like even like finding his movies and stuff, you know, it's unless you have HBO or whatever it's called, Max now, I guess.
Yeah.
You can't find like the cartoons and stuff really not that easily. Which sucks because there's a whole ton of awesome looking
Art.
Batman cartoons. That's what movie cartoons, yeah. Matthew says Kevin Conroy is the best Batman. Yeah, he was definitely the best Batman voice.
Who's that?
He's the guy that did the Batman.
The animated series?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, did a great voice. Him and Mark Hamill as the Joker. Really good stuff. So
that's where Harley Quinn originally came from, which is kind of crazy. You would never think that Harley Quinn was originally from like an animated cartoon, but like now she's one of the biggest DC characters on the planet. And she came from just a cartoon.
And it was actually supposed to be some small bit part, but everybody liked her so much that they ended up keeping her around. And now she's, like you said, probably the biggest female.
Definitely the biggest female from DC.
And, you know, probably the most popular. I mean, even with the Wonder Woman movies coming out, she's not as popular as Harley Quinn is. So, and definitely Mr. Not. Wonderful Hexastack Travis is in the house. Well, I've been a little busy this week, working on finishing my dio and
very cool dio.
Working and hopefully I'll get the dio finished before the end of this week so I can get some picks done. Waiting for some cool figures to come in the mail to really help sell the dio. So,
any Batman figures?
No, the only Batman I have going right now is that Batman Hush from. Oh no, I do have that one too, the Darknight to Steel, but that's yours.
That's
for me. Obviously. I have the Hush Batman, Mofex, but that won't be in until next year. Kelly, what's happening, my man?
Aloha.
And Thanos. Hitting the like and the road at the same time. Excellent, man. Safe travels.
Drive recklessly.
Don't make me come find you. Yeah, so I got a couple of Figure Obscura figures that'll be coming in to.
That's a lot of them.
Well, the Headless Horseman and that Father Christmas should be coming in soon.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're packing them up at the Mythic Legion's headquarters.
Very cool.
And they got to go to Helidope, and then they got to come to me. And then that other one I showed you, the Mask of the Red Death, that should be shipping soon. Paul, welcome. Thank you. So, yeah. So those, I mean, not that dial that I'm building is exclusively for them, but they will definitely.
It's pretty sick. They fit well in there. They'll fit well.
Yeah. Yeah.
We should make a diorama of what is behind me right now.
They have that. McFarlane made that.
Yeah, but we should make our own.
We could do that.
It wouldn't be that hard.
The McFarlane one's only like 20 some bucks. So, I mean, we could get that for like the, because it comes with the desk with the golden head statue on there. And it also has the, yeah, I know it's Shakespeare, but I just meant like it's got that head statue.
Mm-hmm.
It's also got the sliding bookcase that opens up to the bat poles. So,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a picture behind them of bat poles, or but
we should make.
We could use that wall, right, and then make an actual thing with
the whole.
What I'd like to do is like they have a bat cave also, right? So you with the back computer and the hydrogen thing. So like put that on a shelf and then put the mansion up above it. You can actually build like bat poles that slide down. Mm-hmm. I got the bat mobile and the 66 bat cycle. All we need is the bat boat, and McFarlane's got that out too. What's Paul saying? You are requested to be on the Man Cave show. We talked about you last night in the green room. Hopefully you can make a Monday night in September. Yeah, just let me know
October.
when.
That is October.
Did I say September?
You said September.
I don't read too well.
No, I can see that.
Just let me know, Paul. I will definitely make time for it. Oh, it's both of us. Look at that. You have been cordially invited. I can't even talk. Words
you don't speak
today.
too well either, man.
Man, struggling today. I'd say I haven't had enough coffee, but we know that's a lie.
That is always a lie.
Yes, we will figure out when. Paul, just let us know.
I might be doing vigilante things that night, though. Just saying.
Well, he goes on at like 9 o'clock, so
crime never sleeps.
It does get dark here early, so you might be out vigilanteing, but you can pull yourself away for a little while.
I'll just be on the radio. I'll have my walkie-talkie.
Yeah. But you'd have to show up. You'd have to show up in costume, because we won't want anybody to know what your real identity is, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Luke's not my real name.
No, it's not actually.
Yeah.
Sort of not.
Maybe a little bit. But we're gonna keep my real name a secret. Nobody gets to know.
Nobody gets to know your real name. So, how about you? What have you been doing?
Fighting crime. Accidentally falling in love with weird redheads that talk to plants. Endangering children's lives by putting them in the way of harmful criminals that are psychopaths.
Yeah, half-ass teaching them how to fight, and then you go out and get them killed. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, right? I mean, having to deal with them being resurrected.
Now,
it's a hard life out here.
It's all part of the money, man. Like, if the orphans want to follow the money and get taken care of by, by you got to deal with the dangers that come along with it, right? There's risk and everything.
Yeah. I mean, if you're trying to get adopted by a psychopathic, like trauma-ridden child, I mean,
that's right.
They're just like a bat. Yeah, I mean, you got to deal with the consequences.
Yeah. Exactly. You grew up with a butler as a dad, basically. I mean,
Yeah.
Not much hope for that guy.
No, not at all.
Yeah. So how's your car running?
Not very good lately. Some kid stole my wheel.
Oh.
So I had to. But it's all good. I adopted him, and he's kind of funny.
Yeah. Was that before or after the Joker laid an egg?
Your internet died. Oh, is that where that comes from?
My internet didn't die. My brain did.
No. Is that where that comes from?
What?
The Batmobile lost its wheel because in the way that Batman got Jason Todd, that's a weird way to say it. The way Batman met Jason Todd was that Jason was trying to steal Batman's Batmobile wheel. And that's probably where that came from. Wow.
Actually, Robin laid the egg. Right? I don't remember how the song goes. It's been so long since I sang it.
Batmobile lost its wheel and Joker got away. Jingle bells, Batman smells, Robin laid an egg.
Yep, Robin laid it. Those redheads get
It'd be
you
weird
every
if
time.
Batman laid an egg.
Those gingers are dangerous. And I know because I have many gingers in my family, and they are all women that I wouldn't let my best friends date. So. Or my worst enemies, for that matter.
At least you're a good guy.
We have another special guest, Mr. Jeff from Skunkworks Studios.
Aloha.
Yo!
I'm Surfer Batman. That's
Surfer
who I am.
You're wearing your Bermuda shorts.
Got the sunglasses on. Yeah, I got my shorts on also. Over my costume. You can't see them though. This camera's only down, like waist up.
You ready to jump into the news for the week?
I think we have one more thing to talk about.
Okay, what's that? Wait, hold on real quick. Eldor, good evening, sir. How's things over in Eternia? All right, what's the other thing we got to talk about?
Your big announcement.
Thanks, Paul. I'm planning on doing one on Mego Action or Mego Ego Force next week. That's the plan. Stopping in before I run over to drop something off for my daughter. Okay, thanks, Punk. What's my big announcement? You gotta
announce it.
Dude.
You don't remember?
Nope.
Okay, I'm gonna let you remember. I'll give you some time. We can get into the slideshow.
And what if I don't remember?
Then they never get to hear it, I guess.
What's my announcement?
You got to figure that out yourself, man. I'm not going to be here for you, though, for the rest of your life.
I'm going to need you here. All right. Well, we'll jump in. If I don't remember, we'll figure something else out. All right. So, news from the Crick.
News from the Crick.
Where's my music? Excellent. All right. So a lot of this news is going to be hashed and rehashed over again because everybody else has covered a lot of it, but we're going to cover it.
But we do it in a unique way, and we're fun about it. So.
Oh, yeah. Look at that. Jeff rebranded to Skunkworks Studios now. Fancy schmancy.
Swoos.
Whew. Ah, look at this guy. Fat Red Foo is joining us. What's up, Fat Red Foo? All right. News from the Crick. Top of the list. Operation Monster Force. Another figure listed for pre-order. This guy's pretty cool because he comes with 4 heads. The main one being General Brown, who looks especially like Apollo Creed or Grief Karga or Carl Weathers, as the actor is known.
Those are 3 different people.
Yep. They're all the same actor, though. Carl Weathers, Grief Karga, and...
Oh, I was thinking... I was like, who's that guy? Who's the other one?
Lando?
No. The other Mandalorian guy, the Imperial guy.
Oh, you're thinking of Grand Moff.
Yeah. Not Grand Moff Tarkin.
No, Gideon.
Moff Gideon, yeah.
Moff Gideon.
Or Gus Fring.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was really looking forward to this.
2 different people.
Yeah, looking forward to this set. Got a cool couple of heads, and then this last one with the beard has the scar, so it's definitely homage to the G.I. Joe Adventure Team. I'm kind of sure this one is too, even though it looks a little bit like Antonio Banderas. Let's see. General Brown. And that Colton head is fire. Yeah, shame on Hasbro for not doing a vintage head sculpt for the 60th figures. Yeah, at least they're actually discussing it this year and not just blowing it off like they have in the past. So General Brown, a little bit of an unknown fact of why this guy is General Brown. In the Eagle Force of Vigo of old, the one character who actually was used to model Sergeant Stalker after, his name was Sergeant Brown, and he was a black dude who was in the Eagle Force. And now that Fresh Monkey Fiction has a General Brown in the actual Eagle Force, this guy is just getting upgraded to 6 inches from 4 inches. So that's where the General Brown comes from.
I did not understand a single word of any of that.
No?
No, that was a
Want me to
lie.
say it again?
No, I think I'm good.
Okay.
I think we're good.
All right.
Okay. I don't know if you could say it again if you tried.
Not in the same exact order, but short story long. General
It's an
Brown
old character.
is based off an old character from the late 70s out of the Eagle Force. And
Pretty
Eagle
cool.
Force was made in the 70s and now has been redone by Fresh Monkey Fiction, who is the company that's making Monster Force. So
Awesome.
that's where that ties to. General Hollingsworth, General Iron Butt Austin, General Flag, and General Copeland, the Jugglers. Exactly. Thank you, Matthew. I knew you would be helping me with that. These are 1/12 scale, so 6 inches tall. Actually, they're like 6.2 or something like that, 6.19. Can't wait for the Eagle Force episode. Yeah, that's coming up next week. There's going to be a little teaser in there about all the stuff from Eagle Force that G.I. Joe Real American Hero borrowed. Hey, Cobb, what's happening?
All
right.
Cub.
So moving on. Pretty cool about this set, though, is they offer like the different colored hands. Now, you got 4 heads and 3 sets of shades. I'm not sure why you have to have 3 sets of shades, why the 4 heads all couldn't wear the same shades, unless they're truly planning on this being like, something you buy 4 of, because it comes with a blank pocket to put different names on as well. So just a little interesting tidbit. All right.
Ooh,
so
spooky.
Mythically, or 4 Horsemen Figura Obscura Mask of the Red Death. This figure went up for pre-order, or actually for sale, Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Like all the other Figure Obscuras, it was limited quantities. They did a launch at 9 a.m. and then another launch at 8 p.m.
Did you manage to get one?
Yes, I managed to get one.
Awesome.
I almost didn't. I was going to not do it, and then Lawrence talked me into it. So to return the favor, I talked Payne's Toy Samples into getting one as well. And Jeff, stick around for a little bit, by the way, just let you know. So anyway, Mask of the Red Death. Yeah. Cool looking figure based on an Edgar Allan Poe short story.
Edgar Algan.
But so I was looking at this when it was launched in the morning. Like the cloth goods are just stellar, like every other 4 Horsemen thing. But then I saw the clock and the blood spill. I mean, like, you get a detail clock like this in this scale, you're talking 30, 40 bucks on its own, right? So, I mean, the figure being 60, bada boom, bada bing. And
So
then the dial
for a clock.
Yes.
That's
I bought
pretty
it for
funny.
the clock, but now I really like the figure. So
I love the figure. It looks sick.
Yes. Thank you, Lawrence. Thank you.
Is there a mask? Why is it a mask, or is it just the
Yes,
mask of?
There's actually, so you can't see it in this picture too well, but there's actually a face under the mask, and when they're doing all the promotion for this, they never showed the face. So when people get it in hand, then they can actually take the mask off.
That's pretty cool.
The face looks like, so
it's kind of like the poem.
Yeah, exactly. That's what the whole point is, right? I mean, that's with the Figure Obscura stuff, they always do kind of things like that. Like, like the Father Christmas comes with 2 Mythic Legions heads
reindeers
in the in Santa's bag, along with 2 toys. So I mean, like, just little like weird things they do.
Pretty fun.
But here's what the whole set comes with: a couple different hands, the dagger from the poem story, whatever you want to call it, and then the clock, and then of course the blood spill. So this will be beautiful in my dial when we get there.
You're definitely gonna have to put Gomez in there as if he was killed.
Oh, dude, that's a good idea. I'll use the Black Skull figure as the one that gets killed. Gomez would definitely be able to beat the Mask of Red Death. I mean, Gomez is the
okay.
shit. He'd whip out his his boot knife, that one that comes out the front of his toe, and slice the zombified.
He kills death.
Yep, he can defy death. So that's, I believe, as far as I know, this morning was still available. There was a few left. Just to figure, they have an all-in package, which included some coffee mugs and that, like the pin that I got you for the
Wukong.
So they had a pin for this guy too. But I didn't go on the all-in was only like $85, but I don't have enough room for the coffee mugs that I have, and I used a coffee mug for like 6 months before I decided to change. So,
and you got your hella dope mug anyway.
And I got one of the badassest mugs on the planet from Hella Dope Toys. That's good coffee. So anyway, that's there. And then Mezco had their RumbleCon last week.
Did they?
Yes. And this is the Rumbler, which it stands for something. I don't remember what it is, though. But this vehicle looks tight.
Reverse underwear.
Yes.
Manicotti.
Bologna. Limburger. Edible Rangoons.
Yep, that's exactly it.
It's an awesome mug. It is an awesome mug. And it holds the perfect amount of coffee for me. So I only have to get up twice during a pot of coffee. And then I got the whole pot down. We're good. But yeah, this guy is going to have lights. There's no price or release date or anything yet, but pretty interesting to see. Mezco did their Void Gomez a few months ago with that Big Mac, and that was $350 with the figure. So I'm guessing this is probably going to be close to the same price, maybe a little bit more, but looks pretty badass, and I'm sure it's full of surprises. This would go great with the Monster Force, of course, because it's got the the girders on the windows and the guards on the side windows and the
absolutely
brush guard and all that fun stuff. And then they did their whatever they're calling their Void series. This is
Space Battles.
Yeah, basically. This is as Robo from the Foosh put it, Darth Gomez. I think they call him Gomez the Red Hood or something like that. I can't remember.
The Red Eye Light.
Yeah.
The Red Eye Knight or whatever. Red Eye Knight.
Red Eye. Yeah, Red Knight, something like that.
Eye Knight.
We all know these are like spoofs of Star Wars or homages to Star Wars. And here's the Void Gomez.
Do we really? That doesn't look like Star Wars to me, honestly.
Yeah, I know. This one's really hard to tell on the left here.
Star Wars is a ripoff of Spaceballs, though. So
I know this is true. Star Wars is a ripoff of Spaceballs. Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. The mech was $350, so this is going to be $350 or probably more. In a race, I'm sure it could, Kelly. Yes. Mr. Wonderful agrees with you that it was a ripoff. And then here, this was their sneak peek release that after RumbleCon was actually over, they did a couple other little sneaks at upcoming properties, but this guy looks pretty cool. So this is definitely a Gomez. It's going to have to be part of my collection because love the bike. Of course, I love Gomez, but just love his outfit and everything too. So it's going to be a really cool addition to the collection.
Why did they do black and white?
What do you mean?
Like, why did they make him black and white? And
that's how the TVs looked in the 50s. That's definitely a nod to that. Because, like, what was the biker movie from the 50s? Streetcar Named Desire with, I can't think of the actor's name now, but that's definitely what this is an homage to. And that's why his head's gray, because of the black and white TV.
Yeah. Well, the whole bike is grayed out.
Yeah. Yep. That's what I'm saying. Like his head's gray, and that's how people's skin tone looked on those TV shows and stuff. So
pretty cool.
Yeah. What the hell was that guy's name? Damn, I can't think of his name now. It's gonna drive me nuts.
Yeah, it's pretty sick. It reminds me of the noir Spider-Man that's gonna be coming out, which is gonna be sick.
Oh yeah, I know.
That's gonna be so cool.
Not James Dean, Fat Red Fuel.
No, you would not forget James Dean's name.
No. But James Dean also did Rebel Without a Cause, but that was actually done in black and white too.
Yeah.
Originally, but they did it in color. Here's his name. It is Marlon Brando. That's the guy.
Yeah, Marlon Brando.
Yep. And that's basically the outfit he wore, except he had like the taxi driver style hat on. So, yeah, Marlon Brando's the one, Fat Red Fool. So, yeah, that's basically what this is an homage to. That's why it's in the black and gray scale. And then moving on, this is available for pre-order at Ramen Toys and also at Hella Dope Toys now. This is the Marshall, a.k.a. the Marshall Bravestar from Bravestar. And there's a horse buddy that's getting made also.
50-50.
50-50, exactly. It's 50-50 chance. But yeah, Marshall looks awesome. But yeah, you can go to Hella Dope Toys right now and pre-order this bad boy. They are carrying Ramen Toys Aviators also. So good stuff. And then Hasbro on Friday had their Hasbro PulseCon, and they had a whole bunch of reveals for everything, but I only grabbed a few of the figures that I just pre-ordered last night from Hella Dope Toys as well. So, because they are some of my favorite characters as a kid. So here is Dreadnought Ripper, and he looks awesome. And then we have Dreadnought Buzzer, who also looks awesome. These guys are going to be driving around some of these 1/12 scale vehicles from the garage. And then General Hawk is just a cool figure, but I really like the way the figure looks. So
Captain
America-ish, but yeah. It was designed after General George S. Patton, long before Steve Rogers or General Hawk wore it. So just saying, everything's a ripoff. Those homages to the cyber cowboys from the 80s. Yeah, that's Marshall Bravestar. Wild Bunch, that was a good one too. Sup, Travis Cobb. All right, and the shout out from the Crick for the week goes out.
Shout out from the Crick.
I do a shout out every week now, dude. If you'd actually show up for the show instead of being sick and sleeping like a typical damn kid.
I'm a busy man.
All the time. I'm fighting crying.
Yep. I was never sick or sleeping. I know
you had to make up stories so people didn't miss you.
Yep.
Crime never sleeps.
Crime never sleeps. Neither do I.
So the shout out from the Crick this week is Skunkworks Studios. Anybody that's interested in 1/6 scale G.I. Joe Adventure Team stuff, and all around just watching a really cool guy and a really good friend of mine. Jeff and I have been friends for quite a few years now, probably 10, maybe 12, and do a lot of G.I. Joe stuff together. Yeah, we've been friends a long time.
Wow.
And Jeff does some really cool custom work on his channel and has reviews of not just G.I. Joe stuff. He does some Super 7 and some Mezco and some other brands that are out there. He just did the Battle for the Planets, Jason the Eagle. And but yeah, he even just for tips on customizing in any scale, Jeff does it in 6 scale, and you could probably learn how to do it in 12 scale if you're interested in that. Fine. So that is the shout out of the week. So he is Skunkworks Studios on YouTube, and I think he's still Skunkworks G.I. Joe Customs on Instagram, as far as I can tell. So check him out. He's got some cool content up on both of those.
Very nice.
And when you're on Jeff's channel, check out the Axis of Awesome, because there's about, I don't know how many people are in the Axis of Awesome at this point in time, but one of the chat members, Paul Knapp's in there, and a bunch of other really cool 1/6 scale guys. But whatever scale you operate in, you can always learn tips and tricks from any scale. So, all right, thanks, Paul. And that is the news for the week. Are you still there?
Yes.
Oh, you're being
I
very
was
quiet.
checking my back computer.
I couldn't see your lips moving.
I was checking my back computer. I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, it's okay. I just got an alert that someone broke out of Arkham, though.
Oh. Who was
I'll
it?
let Robin deal with it. I don't know. I don't care. It's not my
Yes,
deal.
send Nightwing after that
Yeah.
shit. I mean,
He
if
can
they're
go
already
there.
been caught once, that's easy
Yeah.
stuff, right? Catch them again. I mean,
Probably just Penguin or something.
right. I mean, Arkham Asylum is like, it's kind of like a retirement home, you know?
Yeah.
Like those old people just sneak out once in a while.
It's just time out. Yeah.
And then they come back, right? I mean,
Yeah. The senile grandpa comes out of retirement
Right.
for a little bit and runs around in the road. And
yeah, you know,
Gotta give
then
him some
everybody's like,
yogurt.
oh, 90-year-old woman lost in Southern California for 3 days. And then they find him like, you know, he's been
Naked in
hanging
a
out in the
alley
cafeteria
or
the
something.
whole time, right? You know, I mean, it's like, you know, it's kind of how it is with Arkham, right? Scarecrow goes a little off the rails. They put him in, you know, solitary and they forget. Then they're like, oh no, Scarecrow escaped. Oh no, wait a minute. 2 days later, they remember that he was in solitary. You know, it's kind of like that.
Yeah, it's not a big deal. I don't care. I'll send the kids out.
Yeah, send the kids out. Put them in harm's way. I know. That's right. I forgot about Street Fighter Ken. And Street Fighter Ken from Jada Toys dropped yesterday at 1 o'clock and is also available for pre-order at Hella Dope Toys. Oh yeah, he is news. I'm sure you already have like 5 on pre-order anyway, Travis. So he's not news to you. All right. Shall we move on to the topic for the evening?
I think we shall.
We shall. If I can figure out where I am.
The best superhero of all time.
No, just uno. More like 10, yeah. I'm sure there's more than, well, he doesn't need more than one. He just ordered a whole bunch of those other characters too. So he's got a whole, like, you know, what are those karate things called, Luke?
Dojo.
Thank you.
Got you.
See? No, that's why I kept you around for a reason.
Just so that I could tell you the word dojo.
Yeah. Did you?
Awesome.
I haven't figured out the announcement is yet. So you want to just say it?
No, we don't. I can't say. You have to figure it out yourself.
But I can't figure it out.
That's sad.
I have no idea what the
Well, it looks like we'll never know.
give me a hint.
All right, let me think. It has something to do. It's related to sandwiches, if you think about it. You got to think about it though.
It's related to sandwiches.
Well, not like directly. Like if you think about it, you could probably relate it to sandwiches in a way.
Pickles?
No.
You're gonna have to come up. You're gonna have to come up with a better hint than that. Jesus.
No, you got to rack your brain now.
I can relate so many things to sandwiches.
Well, if you think about it, you'll get it. Just let's keep going, and you'll eventually figure it out.
All right. So tonight we're going to discuss the
greatest superhero of all time,
most elite, most awesome superhero that ever was. The Dark Knight of Gotham. Justice.
Vengeance.
I'm Batman.
Your worst nightmare.
Brisket. Yeah, see, look, roast beef, exactly. See, this is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking of meat. And I know I'm not starting like a meat company, so I don't know what the hell.
No, that would be really funny though.
I don't know what the hell this announcement is.
We'll keep thinking. Let's move into the slides.
Wait, give me another hint.
Okay.
What's it kind of related to other than a sandwich? Like, is it something in my life or something in like?
Yes, it's a life thing.
Well, I'm not having a kid.
That'd be really funny if that was related to sandwiches. Anyway,
I'm not getting married.
Anyway, guys, this is the first slide, and we're talking about Batman when he debuted in 1939 in Detective Comics number 27.
Keep going. You're doing good.
It's very interesting that Batman originated from a comic book not based off of superheroes, but off of detectives. It's kind of funny. I mean, but he's very interesting. I kind of like his design more from back then than it is nowadays. I think I like the pointy ears. a lot better than whatever it is now. All right.
Yeah, it was actually a really interesting design back then.
Yeah.
He's actually more, I want to say, bat-like and less intimidating, right? I
Yes,
guess.
very batty.
But of course, back then, a dark bat in the nighttime, human size would probably be intimidating. But
all right.
Yep, Travis, I agree. Roast beef.
This is a very interesting design with the purple gloves. And wasn't there a reason for that?
It was because of the ink. When
Yeah.
the comic books were printed back then, that they couldn't get whatever color his gloves were to print the right color. So everybody just assumed it was kind of like the Gray Hulk, Green Hulk thing, right?
Yeah.
Back when the comics were printed, they couldn't print that color, so things got all skewed, and then that's just what people assumed he had.
Yep. Which is pretty cool.
Yeah. This is just a custom figure somebody did next to it that shows the gloves and stuff. So a lot of people weren't really doing a lot with his version like this until several years ago. Someone redid a comic book based off of like the old style, and that's what they came up with. So.
Very interesting.
Let's go.
Now this is a good one.
That's right. The best Batman, the best Batmobile, best Batcycle, best Batcopter, best Rogues Gallery, all of it.
Best Bat boat.
Yeah,
Best Bat shark repellent.
That's right. You can never have too much shark repellent.
Best Bat riddles.
That's right. You know it.
I love the movie. The movie was great. That's I watched that way too many times.
That's right. Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb.
Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb.
Yeah, that movie was great. I love the TV show too, but yeah.
I watched, it was hard to watch the TV show though, because like back when I was a kid, we didn't have like on demand. Ted? So you'd have to catch it on WGRZB or whatever it was, where it would play at like 12.
Random channel that was on our antenna. Yeah. Yeah. But we did have the DVD of this.
Yeah. It's a good one. Yes, I love what's his name?
Which guy?
Tim. Who's the guy who plays Robin?
Burt Ward.
Burt Ward, yeah.
Burt Ward's a good guy. Him and I were
great. Robin.
We used to chat quite a bit when I was on Facebook back in the day, back and forth. He was a really nice guy, doing a lot of good stuff in the world, still fighting crime, even at his old age. Yep.
Great person.
That's right. It was on FX forever when I was a kid. Yeah. It was on a lot of channels on cable when I was a kid. All right. Yeah, the movie with the shark repellent, Batman's got a friggin' shark on his whole leg, and he just sprays it with a little shark repellent.
You know how cool that is? That's still like probably the coolest Batman thing ever. He didn't even care. He had a shark biting into his leg, and he was like, "Oh, this is all right."
Shut down the bat repellent, Robin.
Probably the most awesome thing Batman's ever done, and it's just like, all right, it doesn't matter.
The best part is that like Robin's coming down to hand him the bat repellent, and he has
upside down.
Get positioned so he can hang upside down to hand it to him instead of just climbing it down, which would have taken 5 minutes less of having a shark on your leg. But they had to build suspense. One of the cool things they always did in the show was they had Batman and Robin like climbing up the wall, and then always like some celebrity would cameo.
Yeah, some old person.
Yeah, that was always
good fun. One. Great time.
Yeah, good show. All right.
Now this is me right here.
Yeah. Tell us about yourself.
Now this is the first one, not my favorite. I wasn't the biggest fan of the first one. I think it was just kind of boring. But the second one was really good. I love Danny DeVito as the Penguin.
So when this one came out, it was 1989. So you got to think that the world hadn't seen Batman as a movie.
As scary. Yeah, or scary.
Right. For many,
Tim Burton
many
really
years.
Changed Batman.
Yeah. And that's, Tim Burton changed the whole aesthetics to him, right? And the whole brought it into like this whole Gotham being a dark, dismal place.
Yeah,
And
this the
all this stuff,
scariness.
right? Yeah. And you know, I mean, not that
These were not kids movies. Like
No.
you watch these and it's like, wow, that is dark. That is creepy. Like I mean, Catwoman gets shoved out a window.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
You lost some points with the Black Knight.
what did I say? Oh, I didn't like the first Batman movie.
Yeah.
Well, it's not like I didn't like it. It's just not as good as the other ones.
It's just not his favorite. That's
Yeah. It's like
this is another one
what
you
my
used to
favorite,
watch a
like-
lot too when you got a little older because
Oh yeah.
you did watch this one a lot. 'Cause that's
Yeah,
another one
I
had.
watched that once. That's probably why I don't like it that much, is because I watched it 8 billion times.
Yeah, you
Because we
used
had the
to ask,
DVD for it.
yeah, you used to ask for this one all the time when
Yeah.
once I bought the DVDs. So,
Yep.
but you know, it was kind of funny because I mean, like you know, the whole thing got redesigned at this point in time, right? I mean, like Batman and Gotham turned really dark, the Joker
Yep.
turned really sadistic, and then you know, like the Batmobile got redesigned, so it's a single seater basically, you know, and had all the armor
Yeah.
and all the stuff on it. And I mean, there are some great lines in this movie too, like you know,
I think this is probably my favorite Bruce Wayne. These movies. The Bruce Wayne is just so good. I think Michael Keaton plays an amazing Bruce Wayne. Very rich guy, but also like cultured. Like he has the whole room of just samurai armor and stuff.
yeah. And you know, Batman Returns was good. I didn't like it as much as the first one, but
I can't not like it because it's got Danny DeVito as the Penguin, which is just the best.
I mean, it was still good. Like these two movies are great versions of the Batman in theatrical form, right? So,
all right, next movies. I've never watched either of these.
So Batman Forever had Val Kilmer as Batman.
Is that the Bat Nipple one?
Nope, that's the last one with George Clooney. Like Tommy Lee Jones played an excellent Two-Face. Jim Carrey, of course, did a really good Riddler.
Of course.
I mean, Poison Ivy was all right, and then this is the introduction of Robin. But Val Kilmer played a really good Batman, but not a very convincing Bruce Wayne. Kind of opposite of Michael Keaton.
This
right?
is the one with the Batman on ice skates, right?
No, that's also the George Clooney one because he's fighting against Mr. Freeze.
But they're playing because it's got Robin and they're playing hockey.
Yeah, that's against Mr. Freeze in the last one.
Is it?
Yeah,
because Robin in the Batman? Oh yeah, it's Batman and Robin, obviously.
Yeah, right. Batman Forever. Robin doesn't get introduced to the very end.
All right,
and then that's when he comes in for the last one. But I mean, Batman Forever wasn't as good as the first two, but certainly not as bad as the last one.
I've never watched
the Batman and Robin, which is where all the bat nipples come in, and this is the one where, like, you know, Arnold Schwarzenegger starts singing.
It's very ice to see you.
Yeah, he starts singing the Cold Miser song from Santa Claus is Coming to Town. You know, so it's pretty pathetic.
It's pretty silly.
George Clooney didn't play. I mean, as far as Bruce Wayne goes, he played an all right Bruce Wayne. He just did not do. Yes, Alicia Silverstone as Batgirl was all right.
Now, this is my favorite Batman movie.
I'll give you that. Okay,
Batman
so
Begins.
Christian,
my favorite Batman, my favorite Bruce Wayne, honestly, and my favorite Batman movie. Just Batman Begins is the best Batman movie of all time.
I think as far as Batman and Bruce Wayne as a single character divided into two personalities, Christian Bale did the best of that.
I agree.
There was some things in this movie that I thought were a little far-fetched, but
like
then
what?
again, it is a superhero movie, so you have to.
What's far-fetched?
Well, like just the fact that, like, I guess I shouldn't say far-fetched. I didn't like the way they designed the Batmobile in this movie. With it being the what is it called? The tumbler?
The
basically
tumbler,
a tank, right? And you know, those kind of things I didn't really care for, right? But if you suspend reality and think about the fact that
I think it makes more sense.
the Wayne
than
as
it
a
being
corporation was working in the military development.
That's a very
sense, right?
possible thing. Like
Mhm.
that's a real thing that a lot of billionaires have. I think it
Right.
makes more sense for him to have that than like whatever the Batmobile in the '90s ones were. Either way, I think that I don't know. I just like it. It's you actually get to see Batman learn the kung fu and the karate and the katana fighting and all of it. You get Ra's al Ghul, which is not his character we really ever see in live action Batman. You get a cool whole origin story, which I love origin stories. You get the coolest tank Batmobile ever, which nobody ever really cared about apparently.
And
I
of course,
loved
you
it
had
though.
one of the best Jokers ever, right?
That's not this movie. That's not this movie. That's Batman. This is Batman Begins. And then you get
Who is the villain in this
Scarecrow and Ra's al Ghul.
one? Oh, yeah.
You get the best Scarecrow of all time, which is Cillian Murphy. He's the best Scarecrow. Even anything, live action, animated, that is the best Scarecrow. I think if Cillian Murphy wasn't in this movie, it wouldn't be my favorite Batman movie, but
yeah, he did a really good job.
As Scarecrow is the best.
Yeah, he did a really good job. I only put this one in there for Christian Bale because he's basically the same character, but they were all good movies. I mean, they're fun to watch. They're definitely Batman movies. You know, you're not like looking at it going, "This is not Batman."
Is there no Dark Knight slide?
No,
there's not. Okay, we need to talk about the Dark Knight movies then. I don't really care about the Dark Knight movies. Second, the Dark Knight, just the original Dark Knight movie is it's all right.
Aaron agrees with you on the Scarecrow.
Good. That's the only right opinion. So I mean, your other opinions are wrong. I like the Joker in the Dark Knight. Great Joker. But the rest of the movie is just kind of boring, I think. I mean, I don't really care about the whole Two-Face thing.
Yeah, they're definitely they definitely dragged him out and put a little too much in there, right? So it kind of just made the story like a mess, right? But
Dark Knight Rises is a horrible movie, I think. I hate Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah.
It's not I tried to watch it and I only got like halfway through and then I watched it again the whole way, but like I couldn't just sit down and watch the whole thing fully without getting bored. Dark Knight's a good movie, but not that good. It's not like a great movie. But Batman Begins, I don't know. I love origin stories. That's really it.
Yeah. Well, we talk about that like when we talk about the Lord of the Rings trilogy too, right? Like Lord of the Rings, the first one is an awesome movie. Yep. Not that the other two are bad movies, but they don't compare to the first movie, right? But the origin stories are always awesome, especially when they're well done. Just like the Iron Man.
I think there's something about like you get a whole story in a first movie, right? Like you get from the beginning, it starts out with him not being a superhero, and then you get to see him become a superhero. And then like with like sequels, you just kind of get a superhero movie where if he's just a superhero and he's just doing superhero stuff, right? He's not doing anything. I don't know.
Yeah, they follow the same thing that we talked about when we did our stories from the Crick episode, right? That once you get the story as far as the character developed, the next movie is always just kind of a here he is, here's the conflict, here's the fix, and then you go on, right?
Yep. I love the end of Dark Knight Rises, though. I gotta say that Dark Knight Rises ends amazing because it's just Alfred doing exactly what he said he wants to do, and he's at that place in Italy, and he just looks up and sees Bruce talking to a girl.
Yep.
And he nods, and I love that. That's great.
Yeah. But technically, this is true. But in the Lord of the Rings trilogy, since it's actually a separate book,
aren't we all just sequels, man?
Yeah.
All right. Now I hate Ben Affleck's Batman. He's the worst Batman to ever live. I would rather watch Val Kilmer's Batman. This is a horrible Batman. Not a good Batman. I don't know why the suit looks like that. He looks like a wannabe Daredevil. because he played Daredevil.
Yeah, the problem is I mean, kudos for him for bulking up for the role, but he
He
got so
looks like
big
a
that they made
chunky boy.
they made it look like Batman was fat, right?
But I think it's mostly just a costume design. He would be
Yeah,
fine if he just
yeah, that's what I'm saying. But they made the costume like
yeah.
go over
The
the
costume's
bulk he already
horrible.
had, so then they made him look like he was just kind of porky.
Yeah. I don't
And
like
just
it
the
at
shape
all.
of Affleck's face doesn't lend well to the mask they designed for it either, because he's got like
No.
just a round
Yeah.
kind of
I
pudgy
think
looking
Ben
face,
Affleck
right?
played a pretty good Bruce Wayne. Pretty good Bruce Wayne. Pretty good. A very dark Bruce Wayne, but like a boring Bruce Wayne. Very just kind of bland. I don't know. I think everything
A
about
second.
the DC
The
movie.
one on the left is Ben Affleck. The one on the right is Robert Pattinson.
Yeah. I think I think everything about this Batman on the left, Ben Affleck's Batman, is just kind of bland. Like I don't really care
Yeah.
about it. I think I would not want to see it ever again.
No.
And I'm not interested in it.
Nope. Me neither.
Is that all your opinion is?
I only watched this one time, and I'm a huge Batman fan. And if I only watched it once, it's not, it can't be considered a good Batman movie.
Yeah, I watched pretty much every movie that had this Batman in it, and I wasn't a big fan.
Right.
Okay,
I mean, he did do good as Bruce Wayne.
decent. He did decent.
I think he could have done better as Batman. Of course, I mean, he wasn't working with the greatest script and greatest story either, right? I mean, and it wasn't something that he was, really used to doing. I mean, he never did a superhero before, so
He played Daredevil. He literally played Daredevil.
oh yeah, he did play Daredevil, didn't he?
Yeah, and he played Superman in whatever that one movie was. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, or was it that? Was it that? I don't know.
Yeah, but that wasn't really playing a superhero. But
No, it
anyway,
was a joke.
he could have done. I think with a better script or a better storyline, he probably could have done better.
Oh yeah,
but,
Ben Affleck's a good actor, but I mean, it was just all that whole DC universe sucks. I mean, the only good person in that DC universe is Superman. Everyone else is just bad. I think all the actors are poorly chosen. I mean, Jason Momoa is pretty good, but the storyline sucks. The costume design's terrible, except for Superman.
Well, they tried pulling an MCU and skipped all the origin stories and just threw everybody together. And
I think Man of Steel is my favorite DC movie of all time, though.
Yeah. And then Robert Pattinson's Batman.
Great Batman movie. Yes. Really, really good Batman movie. I would say this is the pinnacle Batman movie. Like, this is not my favorite Batman movie, but if I were to say, like, if I had to choose one movie that was Batman, it'd be this one. Like, this is
the Batman. I mean, I really liked this Batman. I like the way they portrayed him more of a
he's a detective. He's an actual detective.
Yeah,
he's not just like fighting crime. He's an actual like detective that's solving crimes and having to do all these puzzles and riddles and stuff.
Yeah, I liked how they had Alfred helping him with those, but I also like the fact that like he wasn't the playboy Bruce Wayne, right? He was just kind of like,
a depressed teenager.
Yeah. So that kind of made a different twist on it. So I really like that aspect of it. But yeah, I mean, the whole movie was great. And
great movie.
Yeah.
Not the biggest fan of the Catwoman in this movie. I didn't really care for that. I think they should have just focused more on the Batman and Riddler aspects. I think
they had to throw in a love interest there somehow, and instead of just putting in a random redhead, they had to throw in the Catwoman. Which, I don't know why they always have to have the Catwoman or Batgirl falling in love with Batman, because it doesn't need to be there, but that's what they do now.
Yep. I think if you really get rid of the whole Catwoman thing, this movie would be incredible.
Oh yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
But there's like a whole unneeded storyline of Catwoman.
Mm-hmm.
So, but like, this is the Batman movie, I'd say. Like, if you really wanted a movie that was like the comic book version of Batman, like you wanted the character of Batman, I'd say this is it.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
I think it's a little dark. I think it's a little bit too gritty.
Well, it's
if they made it a
definitely
little less
like,
gritty.
not a Batman you're going to take and introduce Batman to your 7-year-old through, right? I
Yeah,
mean, that's just not what you're going to do. But like, as far as an adult flavored Batman, I think it's works, right? Really
yeah, it's
well.
pretty good. Animated Batman, probably the best
Yes,
way to do Batman.
for sure. I mean, this is just three of the a really good uh, animated movies, but there's all sorts of great animated.
No, we need to stop. That's just not true. This is not that far from comic book Batman. It might not be comic book Batman in like the way he looks or the way he walks, but like the characters, like plot movements, the character of the character is very Batman-y. He's doing the things to save people, and he's sacrificing himself every step of the way to save people and to stop people from dying. And he's at the point of almost dying in order to like stop crime. Right? He goes to the point of like oversleep deprivation, and he like almost dies every step of the way in order to save people from having to deal with what he did. And I feel like that's like the whole core of Batman.
Yeah, it's it's just like anything else, right? You're never going to have anybody. You can take two people and put 100 people put in the room, and finding two people that agree on what the best Batman is going to be impossible, right?
Yeah.
Especially like because there's been so many iterations of them through the comics, through animation, through the movies. It's like it's just hard to find
I don't think
that.
any of the other Batman movies really capture the idea of the self-sacrifice of Batman like that one. That's all I'm trying to say. That's what I mean by it.
Yeah,
Like none of the other Batman movies show the self-sacrifice that Batman does. Because like you see Bruce Wayne in like the Christopher Nolan movies, and he's like a handsome, happy guy that doesn't care, and he's rich, and he's got all these jokes and everything. And then he got like the Michael Keaton one, which isn't really even a Batman movie. It's just a guy in a Batman costume punching people. No offense. But like this one's got the detective aspects, which is really good. I don't think there's any really other Batman movies that have the detective aspects. Like I can't think of another one. And then it's also got the self-sacrifice, and you get to see him like break down, which you don't really get to see Batman like break down.
yeah. I mean, as a whole character, I think that the Robert Pattinson one. I can't say it's the best comic book Batman, but I
Name
think
it. What's
it
the other? What's a
encompasses.
better comic book Batman in live action?
No, I don't have an idea. I'm
So
saying
you
like
got it. Yeah, I mean,
it's far as like encompassing everything that Batman is supposed to stand for. The Robert Pattinson one did a lot of that, right? Like you said, it shows the sacrifice, it shows the suffering. We don't get to see a lot of like the suffering with the other guys because, like I said, they were all playing like millionaire playboys, right? And he lost his parents when he was young, so he wouldn't be suffering too much, but there'd still be a lot of that going on, right?
I'm not talking. I don't care. I don't actually really like the emo side of it. I'm talking more of like the self-sacrifice. That's really the best way to say it.
Right.
Like he's putting himself in harm's way constantly, no matter what. Right? Like he almost dies at the end of the movie trying to stop the Riddler. Right?
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. They show the suffering so you understand why he's willing to sacrifice what he's willing to sacrifice.
Yeah.
So
I think if they got rid of the emo side of it, because they were definitely going for an emo-y Bruce Wayne.
For sure. Yeah.
If they made like a Bruce Wayne kind of like Ben Affleck's Bruce Wayne, and then made Catwoman less like I don't even know, like a stripper, and made her more of like a criminal, then it would totally be a good movie. But they just had to they went very modern with it, which is probably the problem.
Which is what they do with all the Batman live actions, right? They try taking it and putting it Batman into a modern day society, which never is going to work.
But animated Batman exists, which is why it's the best. It's the only way you should do Batman. I don't like live action movies even closely as much as I like the animated ones.
The really funny part about the Batman as far as animation goes is you have some really dark Batman material and you have some really lighthearted Batman material. Right?
Yeah.
And you could, if you like Batman and you're in the mood for a comedy, you can go watch like Lego Batman and you got comedy, right?
Yep.
You want something really dark, you go watch The Killing Joke and you got something really, really dark, right? It's just Batman Gotham Gaslight. Really like that
Great movie.
story because they, like in all these movies too, right? Like you never know what's going to happen. I mean, like some big shit went down in The Killing Joke. Some big shit changed up in how the Gotham by Gaslight, goes down. I won't spoil it in case no one saw it. Same with Under the Red Hood. It's just like there's all these
Mhm.
little like things that you just. All right, keep going.
Keep going. What do you mean keep going? Okay, I'll keep going. I think Gotham by Gaslight's a good movie. I love that movie. Like just everything about it. The setting was sick. The whole Jack the Ripper story was awesome. And the fact that it
Hmm.
was in that time period was just super cool.
They did a really cool
Uh,
job of uh like transitioning his costume from the modern costume that we're used to,
yeah.
even like in the late, early 1900s, this costume to what it
Yep.
would be, at that time, and kind of like put him in Gotham. That was basically like Gotham in England, right? It's like,
Yeah. Um, I think another really good Batman movie is Under the Red Hood, as it's up there. That's probably my favorite.
the
No,
other
I don't know if
thing,
it's my favorite animated Batman thing,
yeah.
but it's a
Before
really
we
good
go
movie.
on, the Gotham by Gaslight is also very Sherlock Holmes.
Yes.
You
And
know,
I love seeing a detective Batman.
hmm
I
yeah. Under
think
the Red Hood was really good.
yep.
That had a lot of great, a really good storyline to it. When I saw The Killing Joke for the first time, I couldn't believe the shit that was going on in there. I was like, "Holy Jesus, this is a cartoon."
Yeah. Yeah.
There's some
I don't
wild
remember.
shit.
There's a specific Batman like animated movie where he's fighting nun ninjas. And
I don't remember which one that is.
I'm Googling it right now. And that was a good movie. Batman Ninja was apparently the name.
Hmm.
Oh no, it's Batman Bad Blood.
Yeah.
And he's at like a church with Batwoman and like the whole Bat family, and they're fighting nuns that are also ninjas. And it's
Hey, you
awesome.
never know, right? You
Yeah.
never know what your enemy's going to be, right? As a crime fighter yourself, you got to be
Yeah.
prepared. You never know when they're going to get you.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Do you
that
want to
was
move? Would you like to move
yeah,
on?
yeah. Let's move on.
All right.
What did we
Comic
miss?
books.
Yep.
There's nothing on this page. It's just more animated stuff.
Yeah.
All right, comic books.
So I've read a lot of, excuse me, Batman comic books through the years. Of course, I
Me
didn't
too.
really, I haven't read a lot of the older ones because I wasn't alive when those were out. But basically anything from like mid 70s on, I've read a lot of. And just like the movies, every writer and everybody, every time the Batman comes out in a new series or a new story arc, it's like a totally different Batman.
I
The
think
the
there's the
basics are there, but
yeah.
it's still a
There's always
different
the
Batman.
underlying idea, unless there's like a really crazy person that's writing the Batman thing that thinks Batman's just like a dark brooding dude that doesn't care about anything at all.
Yeah. Right. Well, that's a problem,
Like
right? Like you get some of them that write Batman and they end up doing something like, the campy 1966, you know, Batman,
yep,
or they go way over to the other side and make it so dark and brooding that he's kind of like,
annoying.
yeah.
I think my favorite Batman, I don't know about Batman, but my favorite Bruce Wayne moment, like in history of all Bruce Wayne moments, is in the Nightwing comic book that just recently came out, where he's talking to Dick and he's like saying that like they have a whole family moment, but like it makes it even more important that he has that moment since for years he's just been this dark kind of like untouchable guy, but you can tell that he has these emotions underneath, but he knows that if he shows them or like uses them or allows them to control him, that he's going to fail his mission, right? So he's very
Right.
conflicted.
Yeah, I think they've done a good job recently in the last couple, probably decade actually, but of kind of given Bruce Wayne a little more emotions, but still
I
showing them
think,
being guarded, right?
yeah, yeah. If you start to give him like too much emotion, he just becomes another guy, right?
Right.
Which
Right.
just
Exactly.
defeats the point, and not the point, but like the power of him having the emotions, right?
Yeah, because he's trained himself basically like a monk or whatever, right?
A weapon, yeah.
You keep your emotions in check. You use it for your purpose, right? You use it for your
Yep.
drive. You don't react to it. You don't let them all come out in tears or anger or whatever, right? But yeah, Detective Comics really on and off for many, many years. And then, of course, Batman's had many different titles of his own, too. They've had the Batman, the Dark Knight, Arkham Asylum, all these other comic book titles.
Yep.
What's
I
next?
think the people that think Batman is just some dark, brooding guy don't really understand Batman. But I also think the people that think Batman is just some like happy-go-lucky guy don't really understand Batman either, and they
Yeah,
can't really like see the intricacy of the writing that the
right.
character is. If you look at like the story of Batman, that he went from losing his parents to wanting to make sure that never happens to anyone else, and being so dedicated to that and so selfless to the idea of that he like completely gives up his entire life to
Mm-hmm.
just dedicating it to helping people.
Yeah,
And the only way that he can do that is by becoming like a pretty much a darkness machine that keeps the city safe, even
yeah,
though he could at any point die, right? But
yep,
he's trained in everything, in any combat, any martial art, any language, and
yeah,
completely gives up everything, every moment of his life to that fight, right? The war. But like
yeah. One of
there's
the
there's
cool things,
points where
one
he
of the
like
cool,
talks to children and like is becomes like he cares about kids, right? And he
yeah,
cares about people, and he doesn't try to scare people that are good people, right? He doesn't want to scare the kids or the
hmm
people that are like hurt.
right.
Even though you always think Batman's like a scary guy, but he keeps lollipops in his belt in order to help the kids that just saw their parents die or something, right?
Yeah, I mean that's like
Or in the animated series where he's like, there's the one girl, I don't remember her name, but like she's about to die, and she's like completely destroyed the entire world because her superpower is something like chaos or something, and he goes to her, and everybody else is afraid to go to her, and he just goes to her, walks up, doesn't even try to fight her, he just sits on the swings next to her, and just like has a conversation with her, and she's like, I'm gonna die, right? And he's like, yeah. And then she's like, can you not leave? And he was like, yeah, I'll stay. And then he just sits there until she dies, and everything goes back to normal, and then just carries her out, her dead body out of the
yeah.
place. And it's just like,
But see,
that's what
that's
Batman
like,
is.
yeah, that's good writing though, right? Because it shows that he's still got feelings. He just keeps his emotions under control, right?
Yeah,
He doesn't just let them, run his life. And
he's
that's
not a horrible human being that just
right.
wants to punch people.
A lot of people get that wrong, like you said, right? A lot of people write him really, really dark.
Yeah, I've never heard of that guy.
Yeah, there's really a guy that does that. He was kind of what the inspiration for that other movie was, Kick Ass.
Oh,
So here's some of the animated stuff from the 70s, which is my favorite
Super
stuff.
Friends,
Super Friends and
Scooby Batman, Batman
Scooby-Doo
Do.
Batman, and they had the Adventures of Batman and Robin, and then the Further Adventures of Batman and Robin, which was one of your favorites because that's where Bat-Mike came in,
Yep.
and Batgirl was in that cartoon. But those were all done, by I think it was Dick that did them, the DIC cartoon company there. Always great, and Hanna-Barbera, of course. But
Obviously.
I mean, just great. Animation was typical animation back then. I mean, there was times when his pants were missing, or Robin wasn't wearing gloves
His
like he should have
gloves
been, or
disappeared. Yeah.
something. Yeah, but I mean, as far as the storylines go, they had to make it so they got whatever issue got fixed in 15 minutes to half an hour, depending on what was going on. So yeah, I know who you're talking about. Fat Rafu. I can't remember his name or where he's at either. And yeah, Briscoe, it does kind of sound suspicious that he's carrying. Would you like a lollipop, little girl? Yep, I know. But yeah, 70s, great stuff. You and your sisters loved the Scooby-Doo movies when there's two different episodes where Batman and Robin were on there with
Yep.
Scooby-Doo and the gang. Uh, taking on the Joker and the Penguin and some crazy maniac mayhem stuff. But yeah, that was really fun. I love the design. That's my favorite Batman with the
Uh-huh.
blue, the gray, and then of course the black face, and then the oval
Yellow symbol.
cat's emblem. Yep.
That's not the guy dressed like Batman. That's some dude that wears like a black and yellow suit and like I don't know.
Yeah,
He got like
the one
in
that got
trouble. He
arrested for
would
the
pepper spray
drugs.
stuff.
Yeah.
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 Some other guy. They tried to start like a fake Justice League.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, this is Super Friends was a great show. I
Yeah.
love
Super Friends and Challenge of the Super Friends was awesome. This one up top is from the Further Adventures of Batman and Robin with Batgirl there, and then the rest of them are all the Super Friends or Challenge of the Super Friends.
And Lego Batman.
Yeah, so the one on the left here, that's when DC
They made the animated movie, right?
They did an animated movie and a comic book based on the 1966 Batman. And even like the comic book and stuff was very campy, had the pows and the wops and the thwacks and all that stuff in there. So really fun. Same with the animated cartoon. That storyline wasn't that great, but I mean,
No, but it was just fun.
Yeah.
Very fun. Now, Lego Batman was a very, very, very big part of my childhood.
Just a little bit.
The original Lego Batman game is my favorite Lego game to ever be made. It's the best Lego game ever made. There was this Lego Batman movie that came out called, I don't remember what it was, Lego Batman DC Superheroes Unite, I think. And it was there. I didn't watch the movie that much, but there was like this special feature on it that was all about making Lego Batman stop motion things, and that single-handedly was the reason I ever even started stop motion. So, yeah, that was pretty fun, and I was kind of addicted to watching that thing.
Yeah, you should check out Cobweb Collector. I don't know what his son's channel is, but his son's doing all sorts of stuff that's pretty cool.
Fun.
So, yeah. With stop motion Legos and stuff. So
now here's my favorite Batman.
Yeah, this is just some modern, different versions of Batman in the
Dark Knight of Steel Batman. My favorite Batman, man. So good. Yeah. So cool.
Yeah, that storyline was awesome. The parts of it
medieval
I didn't read the whole
Batman
thing, but I did read some of them.
I just love the design and the fact that he's a Kryptonian.
Yeah.
Super cool. Someone gave Batman superpowers. Bad idea because he's going to kill anybody. Anyway. Give Batman a sword and I'm just like, you know.
Oh, come on, Travis. Batman never hurts anybody that doesn't deserve it.
I definitely hurt people that don't deserve it.
They actually did some story arcs where Batman's presence actually brought in criminal activity. So yes, that's very true. Vigilantes can actually attract, but that's the way it goes with everything in your life.
Opposites attract.
Yep.
But give Batman a sword. I mean,
you can't go wrong. You know, it's just like I think Marvel did a whole story arc back in the 90s where the characters were like they took Thor back to being like a Viking, and you know they gave him like all sorts of medieval looking stuff, and
gave
they
Hulk a giant axe and made him a barbarian. I don't care about this Batman comic right here, but that Robin outfit that design is super cool. I love that Robin design.
Let's just talk about this guy real quick, okay? This Mr. Wonderful guy.
Right? All right.
He keeps talking all sorts of shit about Batman, right? He probably thinks like, you know, Wonder Woman is the best or something. But I mean, that's beside the point because he's also the guy that thought Star Wars was a ripoff of Spaceballs. So his opinion is invalid.
Very true.
I think you've been watching too much YouTube lately, Travis. You might need to take a break. He's at least a little problematic as a super rich beating the poor's an argument to be made that he could fix situations that lead to a lot of the crimes he fights.
I think
Fun
that's not really
fact,
possible because
but
all
the
of
fun
his
fact
like villains
is,
are psychopaths.
yeah, the fun fact is that in modern times, Batman has tried to be a humanitarian, and Gotham is so corrupted by the crime being infiltrated into the government that it's impossible. So,
You also can't just pay a psychopath to not be a psychopath. As the Joker said, it's not about the money, it's about sending a message.
yeah. He didn't agree
Like maybe the
wholeheartedly.
Penguin, you
And
could
I
probably
mean,
pay the Penguin or like Two-Face to not be a crazy person, but
yeah.
like you're not stopping the Joker from trying to kill people.
And I've seen this guy's Instagram, so I mean his opinion is invalid as well. So that's all I'm going to say.
I think Batman should just start shooting people.
He used to.
Yeah, I think like that's probably my biggest thing. If Batman just killed people, it'd be a lot better. I think that's like the darkest part of him that he refuses to kill these bad guys. Just like, come on, you're just allowing them to escape. You know they're gonna escape. I think you're a little addicted, bro.
Interesting enough, this is kind of what Luke and I were talking about when some of the comic book artists and writers take Batman too far into the dark side, where he starts beating up like minor criminals and thugs, because that's not Batman. Most of the time, when Batman in the past would take on like a minor criminal or a thug, or just capture somebody to question them about where the Joker was, it might have been a fist fight like he used to in 66. Most of the time, he would like just capture them with a bat net or something like that.
Or most of the
question
time, they
them.
wouldn't try to even run because they know it's
Right.
Batman and they know they're
Yeah,
gonna escape. You know.
exactly. But now that we've gone to this dark side, they've kind of added like a whole Punisher-esque, type of vigilante to him, which
I
that was
think the
not
Joker
Batman.
is just a psychopath, Mr. Wonderful. I'm pretty sure he's just insane. Like he's just crazy. Like he just likes to kill people and do bad things and
Well, the dude
is a
fell
crazy
into a
person.
vat of acid and took his whole brain and
Yeah.
melted everything.
Yeah.
I mean,
He's just a crazy person. He is just a crazy person. He's a
the
psychopath.
Riddler's crazy. The Joker's crazy. The Penguin is just a greedy politician. The character they made for the Penguin in The Batman with Robert Pattinson is exactly the Penguin. He's like a
Yeah.
mafia boss, a corrupt politician,
Yep.
something like that.
He always has been. I mean, even in the 66 thing, he was just wanted to be rich.
Scarecrow, Joker, the Riddler, they're all actually criminally insane. That's why they go to Arkham Asylum.
Yep.
And not just the jail.
Yeah, 100%. I know a good mental health treatment for the Joker. It's called a bullet to the brain.
If Batman had used his money for his overdone man cave, he could have helped individuals like the Joker. Oh, fuck. I need to go get my boots on. It's getting deep in here. Anyway, Batman as a Dark Knight of Justice, absolutely cool.
Batman as a dude with a sword, absolutely cool.
Yep. McFarlane will be having your figure here soon, hopefully.
Yep.
All right, what else we got?
Let's see.
Oh,
action
figures. This is just a couple of them I threw on here just because, I do like my Batman.
Because you got to have your action figures.
Yeah. The superpowers, and I think the other one is maybe the one up in the top left is from DC Direct, and then the other ones are McFarlane, of course. But which we have a couple McFarlane multiverse figures. Only one Batman, unless you count Azrael as Batman. Which, had we known it was going to be worth money, we would have just left in the package. But gotta let him breathe. Oh, Travis, you're just full of it today, man. I think you need to sleep more, brother. But anyway, yeah. And then of course we got like the McFarlane 66 and Mattel 66 stuff. So most of the stuff I have is from Mattel, but I have the McFarlane Batmobile, and I want to get the Batboat from McFarlane. Yeah, I got the Superpowers one too, but I got the McFarlane one. I got my original Superpowers Batmobile and Robin though. So remember, always be yourself, unless you can be Batman. Then always be
That's it.
Batman.
That's the whole thing.
All. Hey, quit touching it. There you go. All right, Batman. What'd you think about your presentation?
I think I did pretty good.
All right, let's just find out. Let's find out, Travis, in the comments. Let me know who your favorite superhero is.
He probably likes the Flash or something.
Let me know who your favorite superhero is, Marvel wise and DC wise, and then we'll
it's probably gonna be Iron Man and the Flash.
I would consider even suggesting that the Batcave was the original Epstein. I'm waiting for your comments. The Dark Knight says Spider-Man, or Black Knight says Spider-Man.
The Dark Knight.
Yeah, I meant Black
Aaron
Knight.
is officially the Dark Knight.
Spider-Man and Batman were his two favorites. Good call. If we knew any of these were going to be worth money, we would all have grabbed more of those Superpowers figures that you could get for free at the gas stations in the 80s. Yeah, right on, brother. Anybody else wants to add in who their favorite Marvel and DC?
Who are yours?
My favorite?
Yeah. Let me guess. Wait, let me guess. Okay, DC Hawkman.
Yep.
Okay, and then Marvel.
There's only two that it could be.
Punisher.
Yep.
Boom. I know my dad.
It would be
and the other one could have been Ghost Rider. Yep.
And Hawkman and Batman.
Yep.
That's
mine. Marvel.
Winter Soldier. Yeah. Talk about a guy that got groomed right into a heroin addiction.
A what? A heroin addiction?
Yeah. Bucky in the comic books died of a heroin overdose.
Oh, okay. I don't care about Marvel really that much.
For Eldor, Batman for DC, and Marvel is Rogues. Good choices.
Mine is Marvel, probably like Silver Surfer or Moon Knight, and then DC probably. Ooh, the DC one's hard. Maybe like.
I would have to say yours is probably the Flash.
No, nah.
Back when you were a kid, when
I was a kid, I loved the Flash. When I loved
you
the
were a wee
Flash
lad, you liked Beast Boy.
Mm-hmm. I think DC probably maybe
Nightwing.
No, there's a lot, but like definitely, it's like I don't know. I like Superman.
I know
I like Superman a lot.
DC's really hard for me too, because like I've been a fan.
I like
of DC
all of them
my whole life. So I
mean, I like all of them.
Mostly, I'm a huge like. Just throw me the JLA, and I'm good, right?
Green Lantern, I like a lot.
Yeah,
but like, I definitely not just those.
Well, like we liked a lot of the DC villains too, right? Like Gorilla Grodd and Solomon Grundy. And,
I'd say Smallville Superman probably is my favorite.
That's a good character.
You ever watch Smallville?
Yes.
Good show. I think that's my favorite Superman. I think it's my favorite DC thing.
I was a younger man when that was.
Yeah,
out.
It's probably my favorite.
I only
DC
really
thing.
like three comic characters: Batman, Swamp Thing, and Spawn. Spawn's a good character. I like Swamp Thing. Spawn was definitely a good character. That series that was at HBO that had that Spawn cartoon on. That was a series for a while. That was really.
I don't know, but apparently the new Spawn movies script is almost done.
That's good, considering the original Spawn movie. I mean, it was all right for a superhero movie back then, but I mean, it could have been a hell of a lot better. I want Marvel to make a trade for Batman. Yeah. And Eldor watched the Smallville show too. Oh, Travis is just trolling us now. Smart ass. Travis, let me tell you. Everybody likes
You're
a
a
little
supervillain.
ass. Nobody likes a smart ass. Yeah, HBO Spawn. That was awesome.
Can we
Great
just point out that
animation.
Mr. Wonderful's two favorite characters are not superheroes?
So I would
Both of them
say
kill
Red
people.
Hood and Winter. Yeah.
Both of them are criminals.
He's talking about being groomed, and here both of his favorites are groomed with mental health issues badly.
Both of them have died.
Yeah.
And brought back to life.
Yeah. I think we need to get you some help. Oh, okay. There you go. That explains it. A little anger from an accidental death. Red Hood is a cool character, though. Same with Nightwing.
Yeah.
I'm glad they moved Dick into
No,
Nightwing.
I think Jason would have died either way. Like, he wouldn't have gotten killed by the Joker, but he definitely would not have lived a good life if he was just left out on the street as a criminal. So,
yeah,
I think he probably had a better life for a few years with Batman than he did on the street alone as an orphan.
Yeah, he definitely wasn't going down any kind of path to anything.
He wasn't going to become
a
a successful doctor.
Yeah. So X-Men are good. That's a good choice for like a team on Marvel. There's so many characters that's really hard to choose a favorite one. I mean, especially nowadays because we have movies like like I've gone from, liking this character to that character because of the movies, but like I've always been drawn to the characters that really don't have superpowers and they just use their wits and their skills and their tools to get the job done, like the Punisher and Batman. That's why those two have always been like my top two guys. Always liked Hawkman just because Hawk people are my jam.
I think I like the exact opposite, and I like people with a lot of power that just act probably better than anybody who doesn't have that kind of
power. With great power comes great responsibility.
Yeah, I think that's why I like Superman so much, is because he's a god, right? But he has to deal with the issues of controlling that and dealing with that and living a normal life while also having the ability to be a god, right?
Yeah. Briscoe, I don't know. I thought that dropped out, but maybe he's back in negotiating, so I don't know. I thought it dropped off. But yeah, I wouldn't want to see him. He can't play Spawn. I couldn't tell you who could do it, but I know that Jamie Foxx couldn't. Okay, so it did decline because that's what I thought. He was having some kind of health issues and stuff. Of course, who knows what's going on with movies, considering that we are still in
the Writers Guild of America strike.
Yeah.
I'll go right for him.
Now is the time to
pay $2.
Write your own animated movie, do it through a computer, and bada bing, bada boom, because people are dying for shit to see, right?
I think Man of Steel. I think people hate on Man of Steel a lot because I don't really understand why. I think Man of Steel is a great movie, actually. It's a really good Superman movie.
Man of Steel was the first Cavill one, right?
Yeah, the first one.
Yeah, that's one of the best. I mean,
I think it's my favorite DC movie, honestly.
I liked that one. I mean, like if you take a look at all the Superman movies that have been out, right? You got the very first Superman with Christopher Reeves, and then the first Superman with Henry Cavill. Those are the top two.
Yeah.
Not that there's been as many Superman movies as Batman, but I mean, there's been what? There's 4 of the original ones with Christopher Reeves. Then there was that one with that Brandon dude, whatever the hell his name was. And then Cavill did 1.5 Superman movies.
Half a Superman movie. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think people just hate on Man of Steel because they want to hate on Man of Steel.
Well, I think the problem with like people that are fans of Man of Steel are diehard fans, like my friend Jason, right? I mean, Jason.
Yeah, I love Man of Steel.
Yeah, Jason is like Superman all the way, right? And I think it all comes down to like you either appreciate the fact that he's godlike or you hate the fact that he's godlike, right? Like for me, I'm not like on either side, right? I don't love Superman, but I don't hate Superman. I like Superman because he's always been part of like the JLA or the Super Friends for me, right? That's always been for me. as an individual character, I liked him in some of the Christopher Reeves movies, but like there's only been a couple of the Superman comic books that I read, and like one was when he died, and then a couple of them when he first came back, and he was like that sun being that had to fly up to the sun to get recharged every day, or else he died.
I don't know. I think people just
Idris Elba would be a good Spawn.
Yeah, he would. That's true. Good call. People forget that he's like a human,
Idris Elba.
He was raised. Idris Elba. Yeah, no. Superman. I'm talking about Superman.
Yeah, Clark Kent.
Yeah. Superman's a human.
Yeah.
So but he has God powers, and he has to deal with the fact that he's a human, but also has the powers of a god, and is also not a human and an alien, right? So he has
he's also someone. He's also someone that wants to is driven to do right. I mean, like Batman's not driven to do right all the time. Batman is like any other detective, right? And will do what it takes to get the job done.
Superman doesn't have that trauma either, right? Superman is the most normal guy in all of the superheroes, in all of the JLA. He's just a normal dude, just a farmer boy, but then he just has superpowers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that completely changes if you look at that like that. You see Batman as this cold, dark machine that has trained his entire life to become more than a human and become a machine and a monster and a killing, not a killing, but a fighting martial artist, crazy ninja dude. But then and he's not even human at that point. He doesn't have emotions in most of the things, and he's just calculating and cold and stoic. And then you see Superman, who's a literal god, who never even wanted those powers, right? But he has them and he just does good because that's what his parents told him to do, right? If he didn't have his parents, he would 100% could have just enslaved the entire planet and been a horrible human being.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
so it's the two sides of the coin, and it's just you see two very different people and two very different things.
Right. But it's kind of if you take a look at the dynamic between Batman and Superman in the DC, right? It's really not much different than the dynamic they tried to build with Tony Stark and Steve Rogers in.
Yeah.
Are you okay?
I was just burping.
I know. That's why I was asking if you're okay.
I'm good.
Pizza coming back up?
I didn't know you guys could hear that. I was covered in my mouth.
No, we could hear it very clearly. You sounded like a frog.
All right. Cool.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was saying. That dynamic between Batman and Superman is similar to the dynamic that MCU created with.
I don't know if I agree with that.
Iron Man and Cap.
I think there's a very big difference. I think Iron Man and Captain America are kind of just they hate each other, right?
Well, I don't mean that part of it. I mean the part of the way they actually hero, right? Steve Rogers is always, the stand-up Boy Scout type of guy, and Tony's kind of I'm going to go kick ass and get the job done, and then I'm going to go home, right?
I don't know. I think Batman and Superman both have the exact same. They want the same thing, where they want people to. They want to save people and they want to help people and they want to be making the world a better place. I think Batman. I don't think Batman really does it any differently. I think Superman 100% beats people up all the time. I think Superman is a little less. He doesn't have to be as restricted and calculating as Batman does because he's invincible, right? He knows nobody can kill him except for Lex Luthor with all of his kryptonite. But Batman, if one mistake and he dies, right? So I think a little bit of the maybe the tension between Batman and Superman comes from the fact that Batman wishes he had what Superman had because he knows that if he had what Superman had, he would the world would be heaven at this point.
You'd
right?
have it cleaned up, right? You would just go through and wipe off. I mean, Superman basically is giving criminals the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, he's a little naive.
Human beings,
which makes him even more human, right? Superman,
that's what I'm saying.
Makes him even more human.
Whereas Batman's I would take anybody that is suspectedly bad in any way and just fly them off into the moon and then they die. And that's
I don't think Batman
basically
would ever kill anybody.
what's
But yeah,
that?
Batman would never kill anybody, but he would definitely
I don't
fix
know.
the problem.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, right? He would figure out some way, like he'd trap
Yeah.
them onto like a deserted island, you
Yep.
know.
Superman's not the smartest guy on the planet, right? Which is good.
Screw this Arkham Asylum stuff where you can
Yep.
escape every other day. You're going to, the Antarctica where there is no escape.
Physically, Superman is a god, but mentally he's just a dude, right? He's just a guy.
First of all, he's an alien, right? And secondly,
Yep.
he learned what he learned in Smallville, right?
Yep.
With
Kansas.
Kansas, right? Living on a farm. I mean,
yep.
So, he's got that naive country boy mentality, right?
Yep.
But godlike powers. It's like,
Which I think is even funnier.
They've struggled writing Superman 2 into movies and stuff because of that, right? It's like, how do you write a character that's got godlike powers, basically invincible, but still give him human characteristics? Like most of the people writing
Lotus
struggle
gotta read Lotus
with that, right?
You just got to read Lotus, honestly.
Yeah, read Lotus. That'll give you some ideas how to write Superman in the future.
Write an invincible character with human emotions and thoughts. Very easy. Yeah, Superman puts people in the Phantom Zone sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes you got to give criminals a timeout, right?
Usually he doesn't put like
your
robbers.
Third strike, you're going into the timeout, right?
It's usually like, galactic threats and stuff that go in the Phantom Zone.
But yeah, Superman's a good character. I mean, I like Superman. I've always liked him in his classic, blue and red, And I mean, like I used to love watching the old black and white George Reeves Superman when I was a kid. That was great.
Yeah. I don't know. I just love the idea of like a god that's also a human. Like that's why I wrote Lotus. Like I love the idea of someone with no weakness that still has weakness that's not like on the outside, right?
Yeah, that's the timeout corner. Yeah, well, like that's it, right? His naivety is his weakness, right? Even though he has the Krypton, which is his superpowers weakness, but like in general, his weakness is the fact that he
trusts people and he's a good person.
Yep.
And that's like
he wants to give everybody the
if he was Batman, Lex Luthor would never even have a chance, right? Like if Batman had those superpowers, Lex Luthor wouldn't have had a chance, right? But he's not Batman, he's Superman, and he allows Lex Luthor to live and be a normal person, even though Lex Luthor has continuously tried to kill him multiple times.
Yep. So I still don't know what my announcement's supposed to be. So thank you very much. Well, now I'm going to lay here all night long wondering what my announcement was supposed to be.
Well, good luck with that.
Appreciate it.
I think it's time I leave.
Yeah, just keep that to yourself, Travis.
There's nothing wrong with Superman. Superman's a great guy.
Yeah, it's coming from the guy that likes Bucky. I mean, come on.
Yeah, Bucky and whatever the other guy was. I don't remember. Red Hood.
Yeah. He likes Red Hood because he likes the wrestlers, right? So he likes the wrestlers, the luchadors that wear the mask,
Yeah. Well, you ready to say goodbye to stream?
I'm ready. If you are ready, thank everybody for joining us tonight.
Thanks for watching us.
We're going to be discussing Eagle Force. If I figure out sometime over the next week what my announcement is supposed to be, I guess I'll announce it next week. If it's still relevant, you can find me on here or on Instagram under the same username.
Luke and if you commit a crime, you can find me in the streets.
That's
right. You better watch yourself.
If you commit a crime,
look at the sky, and if there's a bat symbol,
you will find Luke standing over you, looking through your window, giving you the "I'm disappointed in you" father look that I've taught him.
And then I'm gonna beat you to death.
Yes, and then he's going to beat you to death like the Crow.
Yep.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate
3,
you guys.
2,
Love you all.
1.
Peace out.
Adios.